Hello Cancer, welcome to Creators on the Crest. I'm Stephanie, this is Blazer the Morky here, and we are bringing you your reading for the next 10 days. Today we'll be taking a look at the overall energy, we'll look at your energy, the energy connected to you, and then how those two energies mingle and dance in the middle. We'll close it off with an oracle card for the Cancerian Collective. Keep in mind, these are general readings, so take only what resonates and leave the rest. You can check out your sun, moon, rising, or north node readings for additional context and texture. And be sure to check out the description below where I have links for personal readings, donations, and contacting me on social media. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at creatorsonthecrest. That's oftentimes where I list little flash specials where you can get a reading at a discounted rate. So be sure to check that out. I'm also live here on YouTube every other Sunday. You can come and ask a question then. Okay, let's get your overall energy, Cancer. Ooh, Cancer. You got the number 21 card, the Divine Feminine. The frequency of the Divine Feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all of creation. It's beautiful because Cancer, it's your energy. And one of the things that came up for me recently that I'll mention here, because I feel it in the Cancerian energy too, is that oftentimes people will mistake a Cancerian's energy, a nurturing energy, as maybe they're not speaking the truth, or maybe they're not telling things like they are. But that's not the case at all. Cancer will be very forthcoming with you. They just know how to use their words in a kinder way than most signs. So for some of you, this could be coming up where you're like, okay, I know I'm good at using my words kindly, but I also need to speak out about something that's kind of hard. Well, I just want to assure you, you absolutely have the ability to do that. And just because you don't come off harsh and like, you know, like some of the signs can, or with like a sting like Scorpio, or like the fire of one of the fire signs, doesn't mean that your communication isn't valuable. In fact, you've already thought through a whole lot of stuff. Just naturally, your brain and your intuitive being just processes everything very quickly before you communicate. And when you have something to say, you really have something important to say, and it deserves to be heard. And you're able to do it in a way that's kind and nurturing at the same time as being very honest and forthcoming. So don't let other people's approach with their communication get to you or make you feel like your way of and style of communication is wrong. So that is what I'm picking up to start with. And I think that's why the Divine Feminine comes in, and it lets you know it's okay to be a little bit softer with your words. Doesn't mean you're not being honest, doesn't mean you're not telling the truth, but you don't always feel the need to tear down and tear into like some of the signs when they verbally communicate. So I'm going to leave it there. Number 21 card. So for those of you who are into numerology, that could have meaning. 2 + 1 is 3. And I think that that's beautiful too. I like the 3 because oftentimes people are seeing, okay, you can not communicate, or you can over communicate, or you know, the Cancer energy says, wait, there's a third way. And there's something in the middle here where we can be honest, we can be open, but we can also be kind. All right, on your side, Cancer, and this may kind of go along with the energy I'm already picking up in that Divine Feminine, is the Temperance card, the 7 of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So the Temperance card, that comes in with the desire to be and exist and communicate in a harmonious way, more of a balanced way, more of a focused way. So I really like that. Again, communication is coming up for you. 7 of Cups gives you options, choices. I think a lot of you are seeing choices that you've made previously, and you're avoiding going down the same path where maybe you felt like you made a mistake. So you could be narrowing down the choices that you're going to be making, and looking for that something that gives you the spark, that choice that gives you a spark. We'll see, but it's leading here into the Queen of Wands, and that's where that sparked energy comes from. You could be going through a bit of your own transformation within the feminine energies, or there's a feminine in your life that is going through some transformative energies. It is a time where all of us are going through that. I think for this feminine, this has more to do with her loyalty and her honoring herself. So if that's you, if you are the female Cancerian and you are working on being more loyal to yourself, and you have this tendency to sometimes go and provide for everybody else and leave yourself out of the equation, this Queen of Wands is telling me the transformation that's taking place is a deeper loyalty to the self and honoring of the self, which is probably why communication has come up as well here. For the person connected to you, they get the King of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Emperor. Whew. Much different approach, okay? So somebody that you're dealing with could be masculine. We have a king here. We have the Hierophant and the Emperor, both masculine characters in the tarot. Could be you balancing your own energies and bringing masculine and feminine together and, smoothing something over here. If this is another person, they strike me as someone who would just speak first and think about it later or process it later. They might come off a little harsh, a little cutting. They might come off a bit as a know-it-all, like I know it all and my word is final. This could be somebody who likes to get the final word in. They definitely have a lot of powerful qualities here, which I do think need to be shared and presented, but maybe you're in their life to help them kind of smooth off those rough edges. Now, if they're communicating to you and it's making you feel a certain way, Cancer, that's where your loyalty to yourself and you're honoring yourself in finding your voice and speaking up to this person to say, hey, I really love communicating with you, but we need to do this in a way that feels better to me, and that I can honor myself in this as well as have open and honest communication. Could be something simple like, when you say this, it makes me feel like this, right? Sharing your feelings about when someone says something a certain way. But this person seems to have, a lot of confidence and pride in especially their mental communication. They do have this Hierophant here, but in this particular deck, the Hierophant is turned to the side and we're only seeing a profile. So I'm wondering if this person isn't on the cusp of like fully embodying and coming to face with their spirituality, and then figuring out how to ground their specific and unique spirituality into reality. For the connection, you get the Four of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. This looks to be a really stable connection, and that could be because we have a nice blend here, or a nice potential blend of masculine and feminine energies. The Eight of Pentacles shows me that the two of you could be working on something together, or that you're working on your relationship. That's coming up in the connecting energies here. So, you could be working on this. You could be working on communication with this person. You could be, working on how to find the balanced approach where you both feel good about what's being communicated and how it's being communicated. Yeah, there it is. Sip of tea here. Feeling it come out now. That's not unusual. So I'm picking up on some of your energies where, things are wanting to rise. There's the nose running a little bit. I think that happened maybe at my last Cancer reading too. So some of you might have a cold, might feel under the weather. For the Temperance card, you get the Queen of Cups and the Five of Wands. Whew. So you have a Queen of Wands and you have a Queen of Cups, Cancer. So to me, this goes goes hand in hand with the Divine Feminine energy that came up in the overall. But for some reason, I think that some of you feel like when you share what it is you need to share from your heart, you're met with opposition, or you're met with misunderstanding, like someone doesn't understand you, or you, for some reason, cannot, when you express from the heart, you're not hitting the mark. And maybe something about the topic that you're communicating on is sending someone else into like a spiral, or they have some sort of trigger, or they just do not have they don't have a read on the subtle energies of how you're communicating, perhaps. At the end of the day, I see you having this knowledge and understanding, because this is clarifying the Temperance card. So you're definitely aware. You know, this is not like somebody's just coming at you unexpectedly and you're surprised that they act this way. You're definitely aware of that. And it could be that this person, you know, is more afraid to be vulnerable. And your energies make them, they actually create the space for them to have the opportunity. Wow, they don't even want me to say this. Your energies create for them a vulnerable space where they have the opportunity to really be themselves and, you know, just naked in their realness without anything else. And that scares the shit out of them. So they fight it. The Seven of Cups for you. What is this? I have no idea what you're barking at. It's raining outside, but maybe he's just getting on the point here, like amplifying the point in the message for y'all. Come here, boo-boo. Up he goes. Okay, so for your Seven of Cups, you get the Knight of Cups and the Star. Ooh. To me, Cancer, this is a message that you need to hear, that as long as when you're moving forward from the energies of your heart, and your emotional compass looks really good. Really, really good. Your emotional compass is like very focused, very like eye on evolution, eye on the prize, moving forward, inner wisdom, inner knowing, spreading that out to humanity. And as long as any choice you're making is done from your heart, you're making every best choice from your heart, you're going to be just fine because of this pristine emotional body that you do have. If you are hurting or in pain right now, and I get this is for, you know, maybe some other Cancers here, so this may not be a message for all of you. If you are in pain or are hurting, it is time to choose the nurturing path. It is time to put yourself first. It is time to honor thyself and be loyal to thyself first. Okay, so you may need a little bit of time. I don't see the Hermit card here for you yet, but I kind of feel that for some of you, it may be in your energies. Okay, let's look at the Queen of Wands for you. So this is again about being loyal to yourself, lighting your own fire, honoring yourself. Ooh, you get the Ace of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Cancer, it really feels like that as part of your journey, and for some of you, this is part of your career. Or maybe like you're like me, you have a YouTube channel and it may or may not be part of your business. It could be with this Ace of Pentacles here, or you're thinking about starting up a spiritual business. You are very concerned, let me put it that way, very concerned with making sure that as you venture into spiritual topics, esoteric topics, occult type of knowledge and wisdom, that you communicate that very clearly. And so it's very interesting too, because we do have like your own spiritual authority showing up with the Hierophant, but I also see ways in which you feel the pressure of the responsibility of that, if that makes sense. So for those of you who are thinking about maybe starting a YouTube channel or starting your own little spiritual business, the first thing you have to do is be loyal to yourself and be honest with yourself. One of the things that I'm called to say is that you are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to evolve. Hello, you've already shown me that with that star that you are focused on evolutionary energies. So what you might present at one point in time may not be down the road, after more wisdom and experience is gained, may not be what you believe or know to be true anymore. And it's always okay to come back and say, hey, I went on that journey, but it led me there, and then I pivoted and I did something different. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. We're on a very human experience. I know. Is that some thunder? Yeah. Is that Thor's hammer? Yeah. We get pulled into the right versus wrong dynamic, but this is a path that is so wide. There are many ways to walk it. There are many ways to avoid it. There are many ways to live it. This is not a one-size-fits-all world. This is about you taking those steps on your own unique path, knowing the responsibility, but also knowing you can come back later and say, you know what? I used to really be believing in this, and then I had these experiences, I researched this, I gained this wisdom, and now I'm here. That's been my journey, certainly through religion, organized religion, through the New Age structure, and now to where I am today, which I don't even have a label for, right? But all of those experiences and those parts of my journey enhanced my experience to be where I am today. So we are constantly gaining that knowledge and information and wisdom. And it's okay to come back later and say, you know, that I determined that wasn't for me, and here's the reasons why. Or I determined it wasn't true, and here's the reasons why. Now, people can agree or disagree. That's not your concern. Your concern is being loyal to yourself. So I know some of you this is brewing in you, and you're like, okay, this is a big responsibility, and there's trolls and there's all this and that. Don't let that stop you. I can tell you personally, from personal experience, do not let that stop you, because that is only a reflection. Trolls and all of that kind of thing is only a reflection of their own fears and insecurities. It has nothing to do with you. And so we let that go. And for the most part, we ignore it as well, because we don't want to get drawn out into that energy. So I am getting the feeling here, Cancer, of like, have courage, begin working on those fears if you have those fears. For the person connected to you, they had that King of Swords. They get the Strength card and the Ten of Cups. Yeah, a strong-willed individual who is actually very sharp and focused, and honestly they're very intelligent. They have a lot of information to share. Their challenge here is how to present it in a way that more people can hear it. This person, like I said, they have the tendency to come off a little too sharp, a little too harsh, a little too my way or the highway, get the last word in kind of thing. And it appears that there is a part of them that knows that, and maybe that's something they've learned from you and your energies and the emotional pristine qualities that you have, that emotional body being very aligned, because the Ten of Cups shows me they're trying to expand how they communicate and how they think about it. It may not be their default. They feel very vulnerable, very vulnerable. This Strength card, I can't show it on YouTube because there's a little bit of nudity here, but it has a naked woman riding the lion and holding like almost a wand to the universe, to the ethers. And there's many things going on in this card for them. The energies that I feel is that, yes, they feel very vulnerable, trying a new way of doing things, but they're learning that it can work, and that they might be able to reach more people if they adapt their communication style a little bit. For the Hierophant, so remember I said this is somebody who's working on building up their spiritual prowess and really like embodying it and moving forward in that really full forward focused kind of spiritual energy. They got the Eight of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. They don't know quite yet how they're going to do this. They are working on it. The Eight of Pentacles also came up in the shared energy. Again, that's why I think you might have sparked this person. This may or may not be a romantic partner. This could be a friend. This could be somebody you're working with in business, where they're just really observant of your energies. I do think at times this embodiment of, or this could also be someone that's on the verge of a spiritual awakening, but is still holding on. They still have like their claws in the ground. It could be an earth sign, somebody who just really feels like they need to feel grounded, or they just, you know, they're very, they could be hard-headed. You could be dealing with a Taurus, and they just don't know how to let go and how to choose the energies that they can trust with their heart. They're more like, well, I'll work at it, but I don't know if they've yet chosen to surrender into it. It's the surrender energies I don't know that I feel from this person quite yet. But they're trying, they're looking at it. This could be a family member, some of you, you know, where you've been like kind of chipping away at them for a while with them, teaching them how to allow themselves to embrace their spirituality. For the Emperor, they get the Death card and the Hanged Man. I like this because I feel that whereas sometimes in readings, people are like, ooh, death or the Hanged Man. I mean, these are kind of dark and they look like pretty constricting cards, but they're actually about sacrificing. And when we have the Emperor in the middle, it's a sacrifice of the ego. It's literally releasing and transforming the ego so that this person can step into their spiritual embodiment, so they can surrender to the mysteries of the universe, so they can let go. And there's a lot in store for them. This is the lifetime most likely where this person is going to have a spiritual awakening. So get ready. If you know this person to be one way and they actually flow with these energies that they're showing me and they surrender into this, it's going to be a whole new adventure with this person, right? So great. Okay. Big energies here for them, big spiritual embodiment, spiritual awakening type of energies for them. Lots of release, lots of surrender. The Hanged Man is a card of surrender. Let's look at the Four of Wands and the connecting energies for the two of you. You bring in the energy of the Fool. They bring in the energy of the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, they're still hanging on to what they can prove, what they can make sense of. They're a little reluctant to let that go. It makes them feel like they have to lose certain things in their life. And that is one way to look at it. They may lose certain people or certain things in their life, but I like to imagine that and envision that as it's just a natural falling away of the things that don't serve a spiritually embodied person. And Cancer, with you bringing in that Fool energy, I just think you've been like the breath of fresh air that this person is needed. It scares the shit out of them sometimes, like the path that you're on and how they see you operating, but they also know that it's very stabilized with that Four of Wands. That Four of Wands is also the 1111 card, and you know, around the time of me recording this, we just had that portal, so it's showing me that together the two of you will pass through the portal. They're a little more resistant, and that goes for your relationship, so the relationship will be transformed as well, but allow them their personal journey with embodying their spiritual nature and surrendering so that they can come in it with a little less fear. It's funny because, like, on the one hand, you're like, I trust this. I trust my spirituality. I trust myself. La, 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 yay. And to them, they're like, what? You know, no, I need something to grab onto. I need to hold on to this because, like, you know, I don't know if this ride is where it's gonna take me, right? But that's part of the journey of the surrender, right? And going into that. So your energy sometimes for them are probably like really overwhelming. So you may find them checking out at times because it is overwhelming for them. The Eight of Pentacles in the connection is clarified. Whoop, there's another Four of Wands coming up on your side, another 1111 card, and the King of Wands on their side. So a lot of security, a lot of stability, a lot of passion. I think the two of you have had to work on this if you're in a relationship with this person. And I do like that this person will respond well to working on things practically. So if you think about, if you're, you know, if you've been a part of this person's life and you're like, you know, and you're seeing them go through this, because I feel like For the majority of you, you have the awareness this person is going through this, and that scares the shit out of them too. You also bring in like the stability. Through your own journey, you're showing it's okay to let go. It's okay to surrender. It's okay to trust these emotional energies. This person likes to have something more foundational to hold on to. So for them, things like centering and grounding type practices are probably going to be very helpful, but they definitely have a lot of passion toward working on this. They just may need a more what I would call a secure approach, and whereas you're more in the trusting energies of it all. Wow, cool reading, Cancer. We're going to close it off with an Angel Dreams Oracle card. These cards, I feel, speak more to the subconscious realms, so take that for what it is. We will see what is up for Cancer. Cancer, the message from the Angel Dreams Oracle is dragonfly, transformation, magic, and illusion. And in the connection that I have seen here in your reading that we've just been through, dragonfly is a huge ally for you. First of all, it's a creature that represents the subconscious. It has a vantage point. If you imagine the height at which dragonflies fly, they have this vantage point. They're often overhead, but when you're in the water, sometimes they will zoom in and come down around, right? So when you're in those subconscious watery energies, watch out for dragonflies and be aware of your magic. Be aware also of illusionary practices. We have a lot of that in the spiritual fields going on right now, and I think, Cancer, you have the unique opportunity with the energies I've seen here to get really clear on what's real and what's an illusion, right? And work your way through that. That's been part of your experience. Cancer, thank you so much for joining this reading today. It was my pleasure to do it, and I can't wait to see you next time.